One hotel room, one king bed, and the National Hockey League's grumpiest, most dangerous player who swore he hated her guts. But that wasn't the worst part. Welcome to Pucking the Grump, your full, spicy hockey romance in exactly 20 minutes. If you love grumpy sunshine, forced proximity, and heart-pounding tension that keeps you glued to the screen, you're in the right place. Hit like right now if you want more stories like this. Let's dive in. Riley Summers had one rule when she took the job as the Seattle Storm's new social media manager: stay far away from Jax Harlan. She had researched him for weeks before accepting the position. Articles, highlight reels, fan forums, everything painted the same picture. Jax Harlan, team captain, two-time Stanley Cup winner, was a force of nature on the ice and a fortress off it. 6'4", 220 pounds of pure muscle, with steel gray eyes that could silence an entire locker room with one look. The media nicknamed him the Grump. Fans worshipped the legend, but admitted he never smiled in interviews. Riley had called him impossible from day one. Yet, here she was, 3 months into the job, stuck with him for the entire 2-week road trip because of one stupid hotel booking error. One suite, one king bed, one very angry hockey player who looked like he wanted to body check her straight into next season. "You've got to be kidding me," Jax growled the moment they stepped inside the Vancouver hotel room. He dropped his duffel bag like it had personally offended him. His dark hair was still damp from the post-game shower, and his black Storm hoodie stretched tight across his broad chest. The room suddenly felt way too small for both of them. Riley forced her brightest, most professional smile, the one that had won over even the most difficult players on the team. "Look, I'll sleep on the couch or the floor, whatever. I'm tiny. You won't even know I'm here."
Really.
His steel gray eyes dragged slowly down her body. 5'5", blonde ponytail, Storm-branded leggings and hoodie, and something dangerous flickered in them for just a second. Not warmth, heat. The kind that made her stomach flip unexpectedly. "Trust me, sunshine," he said, voice low and rough like gravel. "I'll know you're here." But that wasn't the worst part. That was the moment Riley felt the spark that would burn everything down. She told herself it was just the jet lag talking. She was wrong. The first night they barely spoke. Jax claimed the bed without another word, and Riley curled up on the couch with a thin blanket that smelled like hotel laundry and regret. She woke up at 3 a.m. to find him standing at the window, shirtless, staring out at the glittering city lights below. The moonlight carved every line of muscle on his back and shoulders. Her mouth went dry. She quickly looked away, heart hammering in her chest. "Couldn't sleep?" she whispered into the dark. He didn't turn around. "I don't sleep when there's a distraction in my room." The words hung between them like a challenge. Riley pulled the blanket tighter around herself and tried to ignore the way her pulse raced. She had no idea this was only the beginning. By the third night in Calgary, the tension had become almost unbearable. After a brutal overtime win, the rest of the team went out to celebrate. Riley stayed back in the suite to edit game highlights and post on social media. Jax stormed in at midnight, still wearing his suit, tie hanging loose, looking like a perfect mix of exhaustion and victory. "You're still working?" he snapped, loosening his tie with one sharp tug. "Someone has to make you look human on Instagram, Captain," she shot back, holding up her phone. "Smile for the camera." He stalked toward her like a predator. 6 feet of pure, grumpy energy filled the space between them. "Delete it."
I have proof.
"Make me."
Show me.
Wrong words.
Don't come closer.
In 2 steps, he was right there, backing her against the desk. His big hands gripped the edge on either side of her hips, caging her in. "You've been pushing me for days, Riley. Smiling like you don't know what you do to me. Laughing at my shitty mood. Wearing those tight little leggings that should be illegal." Her heart slammed against her ribs so hard she was sure he could hear it. "I thought you hated me." "I hate how much I want you." And then he kissed her. It wasn't soft or gentle. It was months of frustration exploding all at once. His mouth claimed hers, deep and demanding, and for one perfect, dizzying moment, the whole world disappeared. Riley melted against him, fingers twisting in his shirt, pulling him closer. Heat flooded through her body. When he finally pulled back, both of them were breathing hard, foreheads pressed together. "This is a bad idea," he muttered, voice hoarse. "Probably," she whispered, but neither of them moved away. The air between them crackled with everything they weren't saying. She didn't know this kiss would change everything. The next days became a roller coaster of stolen moments. On the team plane to Edmonton, he pulled her into the back row under a blanket. His hand brushed hers, his low voice murmuring things that made her stomach flutter. "You're driving me crazy, sunshine," he said quietly. For the first time, she saw a tiny crack in his armor, a real smile only she could see. But that wasn't the worst part. In the hotel hallway after the next game, he lingered when they said goodnight. He stepped closer, eyes locked on hers, the air between them electric. "I don't do this," he said, voice rough. "I don't let people in." Yet he still refused to go public. "The media will destroy you," he warned. "I protect what's mine." Riley tried to understand. She really did. She told herself it was sweet, that he was protecting her. But every time she saw the way other players joked about their relationships, something inside her twisted with doubt. Until the night everything almost shattered. After a tough loss in Toronto, a reporter cornered her in the lobby while she was checking her emails. "Riley, sources say you and Harlan are involved. Care to comment?" She froze, heart dropping to her stomach. Before she could find the words, Jax appeared like a storm cloud rolling in. He wrapped a possessive arm around her waist right in front of the flashing cameras. "She's mine," he said, voice loud and clear enough for every phone to catch. "And if anyone has a problem with that, they can take it up with me on the ice." Pucking the Grump exploded worldwide within minutes. Notifications flooded Riley's phone. But back in their suite, Jax was different, distant and restless. He paced the room like a caged animal, running his hands through his hair. "This is exactly what I was afraid of," he said, voice rough. "They're going to twist everything. They'll come after you, dig into your past, make up stories. I've seen it destroy people." Riley's stomach dropped. She stood up from the couch, arms crossed. "So what? We just hide forever? Pretend none of this is real because you're scared?" He stopped pacing. His jaw clenched so tight she could see the muscle jump. "Maybe we should slow down, at least until the season ends." The words hit her like a slap shot to the chest. For the first time, she saw the real wall he kept up, the fear of losing control, of letting someone truly in. Tears burned in her eyes. "If you're already pulling away, Jax, then maybe this was never real for you in the first place." She turned toward the door, heart cracking in half. "Riley, wait!" But she was already gone, the door clicking shut behind her like a final period at the end of their story. The next 24 hours were pure hell. Riley threw herself into work, editing content, posting updates, avoiding the locker room and the bus. Every time she closed her eyes, she remembered the way he'd looked at her that first night in Vancouver, like she was the only light in his dark, guarded world. The memory hurt more than anything. Jax, for his part, was a mess on the ice. He missed easy passes, got a stupid penalty for unnecessary roughness, and barely spoke to anyone. The team noticed. The coach pulled him aside. Whispers started in the locker room. That night after practice, he showed up at her hotel room door, looking completely wrecked. No suit this time, just a hoodie and the kind of raw vulnerability she had never seen on the captain before. "I'm an idiot," he said, the second she opened the door. His voice cracked. "I thought pushing you away would protect you, but the truth is, I'm terrified, Riley. I've never needed anyone the way I need you. When that reporter cornered you, I realized I'd rather face the whole damn world than lose you. I've been fighting this feeling since the moment you smiled at me like I wasn't broken. Please, don't walk away."
What's happening to me?
Riley's breath caught in her throat. Tears slipped down her cheeks. "Then stop running, Jax. Stop hiding us." He stepped inside, closed the door softly, and pulled her into his arms. This time when he kissed her, it was slower, deeper, full of every apology and promise he couldn't put into words. His hands trembled as they framed her face. The kiss said everything: regret, need, forever. They gave in to the fire that had been building between them for weeks. The world outside the door faded away as they finally let themselves feel everything they had been holding back so carefully. The next morning, Riley woke up wrapped in his arms. Jax was already awake, watching her with those steel gray eyes that had softened in a way the rest of the world would never see. But before she could speak, doubt flashed across his face. For a second, the grump returned, the man who had spent years building walls no one could climb. "What if I'm not enough?" he whispered. "What if I mess this up and lose you?" Riley cupped his face gently. "You won't, because I'm not going anywhere. I see you, Jax, the real you, and I'm not scared." He exhaled like he had been holding his breath for years. "I love you," he said simply, voice rough from sleep. "I've loved you since the first time you smiled at my grumpy ass and refused to back down." She smiled, heart so full it felt like it might burst. "I love you too, you big idiot." 2 months later, the Seattle Storm won the Stanley Cup in a thrilling final game. The arena was electric. Jax dropped to one knee on the ice in front of 20,000 screaming fans, the massive ring sparkling under the bright lights. But before he spoke, he looked up at her, and for one heartbeat, she saw the same flash of fear, the fear of losing the only person who had ever melted his ice. "Marry me, sunshine," he said, voice carrying through the microphone. "I need my lucky charm for the rest of my life. I'm done hiding. I'm done being afraid. I just want you, forever." Riley didn't even hesitate. She tackled him right there on the ice, kissing him like the entire world wasn't watching. Because in that moment, for both of them, nothing else mattered except the man who had finally let someone in. And that's how the grumpiest hockey player in the National Hockey League finally found his forever, with the only woman brave enough to see the heart behind the scowl. The end. If you loved Pucking the Grump, smash that like button, subscribe, and comment your favorite trope below. Grumpy hockey? Fake dating? Small town romance? I read every single one. Next week, I'm dropping Ice Cold Obsession, even more tension and heart. Turn on notifications so you don't miss it. See you in the next 20 minutes of pure emotion and steam. Bye, beautiful.